Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about Johnny Depp personality through his handwriting as well as the Enneagram. The Enneagram is a personality model mapping behavioral tendencies and the motivation behind them. There are 9 distinct and consistent patterns, and nobody is a pure type. Amber Heard is a type 6. And Johnny Depp a type 4. The interesting part about 4 and 6 is that they are both emphatic and demonstrative in stressful situations. They want others to feel the way they do, and they want their feelings to be understood. Johnny Depp makes others walk on eggshells through emotional distance and emotional unavailability, whereas Amber Heard will push her emotional overreactions onto others, becomes intrusive with ambivalence and ambiguity. These patterns are described in all its simplicity in my book, The Enneagram, the Carry With You Enneagram Summary. Today, I'm going to talk about type 4, Johnny Depp. Their perspective is, I'm without personal significance. I'm without an identity. The average type 4 base their identity on their ever-changing emotions, which they cannot sustain a stable identity with. They worry others do not see them for who they are. They become self-conscious, emotionally distant and aloof, hoping somebody will notice them. An idealized self-image compensates for that insignificance. But eventually their eccentricity drives others away. Reportedly, Johnny Depp stayed in his role as Captain Sparrow for a full year, both on and off the set. He basically adopted Captain Sparrow as his identity. Type 4s are individualistic. They also are inspiring others. So they have difficulty expressing their emotional life. And they seek to express them through other means, like dress code, the arts, music, acting, poetry, etc., etc. They cultivate an unconventional identity in order to be accepted. That is an idealized image. 4s want to be seen as original, unique. They avoid the ordinary as a plague. So their message is, I'm different and unique. Individualism is a strong point and a priority theme for type 4s. But others may see self-pity, self-indulgence, melancholy, and moodiness. Every type has a distinct pattern, from healthy to average to unhealthy. 4s reject their own personal qualities, their identity, so they start to cultivate a fantasy identity. And when they do that, they are actually self-sabotaging. At average levels, they are self-absorbed, self-indulgent, and they feel exempt. Feeling exempt is, for instance, expressed as not showing up on time on film sets and not showing up in court for the verdict reading. If they deteriorate further, they fail to realize that their fantasy identity is actually self-rejection, emotional blocks, resentful, and even self-hating and death-obsessed. They are strongly prone to become addicts. The resentfulness of Johnny Depp shows in him stating in writing that he wanted to globally ruin Amber Heard. This is probably earlier writing of Johnny Depp. It is in cursive, and we see an enormous amount of angular strokes in the mid zone, in the lower zone, and even in the upper zone. These writers are opinionated, critical, principled, and they may be insensitive, rigid, and unyielding. The lower zone angularity suggests tension and anger may be physically expressed, and that includes violence. Now, later writing, he moved towards block script. Block script suggests that they are uncomfortable with emotional expression. Block script is easier to control. And these writers that do this are prone to avoid attachment and have difficulty bonding. Now, we also see that his signature is different from the text. The signature is your public image that you present in public. But it is different from the writing, and so what you see is not what you get. Mid-zone writers, like a block script, live in the here and now and need immediate gratification. The lack of upper zone structures imply limited philosophical inclinations. And we know another writer where the block script and the signature are very different, Donald Trump. Now, the Depp signature is very creative, but also distorted. It is illegible, suggesting secretive, private. And distortions means alternative thinking patterns may be distorted. But I think this is creative and designed. Interestingly, the first name appears above the last name. And that may be compensation for feeling insignificant by placing himself above his role models, the Depp family. Now, we also see that in the block script that the mid-zone is highly unstable, and that suggests hypersensitivity, sensitive to criticism, and easily triggered by their environment. And that means unreliable responses are to be expected, and that is due to a fluctuating self-image and inner conflict. The uneven baseline, as we see in Shameful, for instance, suggests moodiness, erratic behaviors, and emotional immaturity. When we look at the tall T stems, that means overestimation of self-worth, vanity, expecting praise even when it is not earned. Now, the letter T in particular is pride in achievements, and these people demand performance acknowledgement. Depp uses a small mid-zone I as the personal pronoun I, and that is in line with his type 4 I am insignificant point of view. We also see that the size of the personal pronoun I and mid-zone I's fluctuate and vary. And that suggests a fluctuating self-image. Letters that drop below the baseline suggest a forced energy overdoing things. These people have uncontrollable subconscious urges. We see that in the letter A, the T, and since it is block script, also in the letter F. That also suggests a mindset showing willingness to overstep boundaries, and he can't control it. Other people that have letters dropping below the baseline are Nancy Grace and Dominique Strauss-Kahn. His letter E crossbar sequence is from bottom to top, and every stroke is longer and longer. And that suggests once he gets going, he ramps up his energy levels. And you can expect that he's unable to stop. Note that the heavy endings of these forward strokes mean strong determination, purposeful, and unchecked impulsivity. In an essence, he is quote unquote forceful. That forcefulness also returns in the club strokes. Club strokes have heavier endings. These authors are extremely decisive, authoritarian, and prone to force their will onto others. In underdeveloped writing like this sample, look for brutality and cruelty. These people have an attitude of hit first, ask questions later. And that is in line with trial testimony. As his audios and text, he stated, "I will react regardless of the consequences." And that is also a form of entitlement. Interestingly, there are 3 rules of engagement, which can be found in my book, One Reason. Johnny Depp gives people, quote unquote, respect in his writing. Now, rule number 1 is we talk about what we relate to the most. And for Johnny Depp to repeatedly and habitually give others respect means he needs respect himself. So we give others what we need the most. He needs respect himself, and we hurt others with what hurt us the most. If you need respect yourself, disrespect would hurt you. How does Johnny Depp disrespect others? Well, he didn't show up in court for the verdict. He trashed rental properties, many vulgarities towards Amber Heard, punching a crew member on the set, for which he will go to trial next month. Now, during the trial, there were many things that came forward. He headbutted her in the forehead. That doesn't break a nose, so he admitted to violence. A makeup artist covered up her bruises. He said that he would hope that her rotting corpse was decomposing in the trunk of a Honda Civic, and that he would have sex with her burned corpse. Now, they also heard in the recording him screaming at Amber Heard for daring to speak to him in an authoritative way. And that is, he feels disrespected. Note that Johnny Depp loathed his mother, who he thought was the meanest of all. During the testimony, we saw Johnny Depp being completely out of control, and he even spent $100,000 a month on drugs and alcohol, according to his accountant. When his accountant made clear to him he should not do that, he cannot afford that, he fired his accountant. In the trial testimony, it also showed that Depp was so out of control, he wrote everywhere in the rental, in paint, and even in his own blood. According to 60 Minutes, the basic cleaning took 13 hours. Now, most people think that Amber Heard is a quote-unquote liar. But in this trial testimony, Johnny Depp said that he never hit anyone. And yet, he is going to trial for punching a crew member on the set. Now, his handwriting shows, and it is not limited in this very brief abbreviated version, that his public presence differs from his home presence. He has a fluctuating identity with inner conflict. He expects performance acknowledgement, has a low self-esteem, strong emotional intensity, hypersensitivity, is self-conscious, and extremely decisive. And that all translates into forcefulness and uncontrollable subconscious urges. And in poor quality writing, brutality and cruelty is to be expected. And then I have only one thing to say. This is a distinct pattern and eerily consistent with how Amber Heard described Johnny Depp during the 2022 trial.